So I've been working in Scottish Water since 2002, so since it was actually unified from the three authorities, so I have quite a lot of experience in this area. I'll quickly take you through who we are. So we are a public utility company. We provide water and wastewater services to domestic customers across the whole of Scotland, and wholesale services to licensed providers, which serves businesses across the country. We're fully funded by customer charges and borrowing. This slide gives you an idea of the size. So over 200 water treatment works, 30,000 miles of water pipes, delivering of 1.53 billion liters of clear, fresh drinking waters a day, so on and so forth. So we serve a reasonably large country, and we're quite a sizable organization. So because we are a monopoly, we're quite heavily regulated, and rightly so. We have a number of environmental regulators and water quality regulators. We have organizations that make sure that customers and their voice is fully heard in everything we do. And we have an economic regulator, which has actually been at the core of a lot of the transformation that we've undertaken throughout the years. And you've heard something from Alar Sutherland, our economic regulator earlier on, which unfortunately I missed, but there you go. So a brief history, apologies, these slides might not look quite centered, but in substance, this shows the history of the provision of water and wastewater services across the centuries, really, up until now. The main changes took place in 1996 when the local government reorganization led and forced the formation of 3 independent water companies across the country. In substance, what was happening was that local authorities were reorganizing and there to find a place for water and wastewater services, which were regularly underfunded because they were competing against things like schools, hospitals, and other local authority services. So we were the companies, 3 companies were set up: North, West, and East of Scotland Water. I worked in East of Scotland Water myself personally, but in substance, those 3 companies were very different in the way that they operated and they applied charges. Some of the differences were driven by the fact that the 3 areas in Scotland, North, West, and East, are significantly different from each other. For example, in the North, it's a much more rural area and includes islands, while the East and West, much more populated. The East also had significant differences within itself. It had Edinburgh, a very urban area, while borders areas are very agricultural areas and much more sparsely populated. So the other significant event that occurred in the UK was in 1989, when the UK water companies, sort of in England and Wales, particularly in England, in fact, were privatized. And that privatization led to a significant increase in these companies' efficiency and in customer service quality. So in 2002, following some detailed analysis from our economic regulator, from the Water Industry Commission, really the case was made to the government to amalgamate these 3 water companies into one water company. So that's when Scottish Water was formed. Now, in 2002, I think we were defined as a basket case, in that we were very inefficient. We really were very far behind the privatized companies in England. And since the Water Industry Commission put that case together and ensured that we became one unified water company, we certainly became much more efficient and focused on customers. Slide. So yes, so what's been the progress across the regulatory period? The regulatory periods are the periods that across which we set customer charges in substance. So since we became one authority, we have found many challenges, starting from focusing on efficiency. So 2002 to 2006 was really focused on reducing operating costs and capital delivery costs, and also improve all our performance measures. The following period was, again, maintaining efficiency, improving customer service, and improve regulatory confidence by carrying out more analysis and more thinking really about what we've been doing, and now we were assessing our progress. Between 2010 and 2015, we put a measure together as an overall performance assessment, but basically assesses Scottish Water performance across a number of indicators. But the focus is really been, while building on the previous sort of improvements, it's really been around customer satisfaction and water and environmental quality, and continuing with that journey to become more efficient in terms of operational expenditure and capital investment efficiencies. And in the most recent period between 2015 and 2021, we really have moved to put customers at the heart of our business and become more intelligent, moving to insights from information, being better at costing things, and being better at programming our improvements. But also the focus has shifted on making our business more resilient and making our services more resilient. In substance, as you can see from the figure on this slide, we really try to play catch up with England and Wales, and become a leading company rather than a following company. The Water Industry Commission has been at the core of all these changes and this improvement, and has pushed us really quite hard, and rightly so, and realized quite significant benefits. So one of the benefits that were realized throughout this work has really been to become our top 10 utility company in UK in terms of customer service. And we're talking about competing against people like Amazon. So we have our latest score from the UK Customer Satisfaction Index score placed us in the top 10 UK company. I think that's quite something to celebrate. However, clearly we shall not be stopping there. So what happens next? So we're now, significant changes from the previous period is that, again, encouraged and pushed by the Water Industry Commission and our economic regulator, we're now looking at the long term. We're just planning for the long term. We have identified many challenges from the long term. The main two challenges that I can provide are really climate change, both in terms of resilience of services to climate change, but also in terms of reducing emissions, so reducing the impact that we have on climate change, but also asset replacement. So this is driven both by climate change, so making our assets more resilient, but also driven by the fact that a lot of our assets go back to the Victorian era and therefore require changes, require to be upgraded in order to continue to provide the service we're providing now to our customers and meet the new challenges. Now, we have created a strategic plan. You can see the wheel of our strategic plan in this slide. So we have created a strategic plan which sits within the water sector vision that we developed together with the industry stakeholders, that covers the whole of Scotland. So it's not just about water and wastewater services, but it's about the whole water environment. And now we want to become, as Scotland, we want to become a hydro nation. But in our strategic plan, we set out three objectives, three long-term ambitions: beyond net zero emissions, service excellence, and great balance and financial sustainability. And also we have 10 strategic objectives. So
sorry, just to give you a warning, we've about 2 minutes left.
That's fine, that's plenty. So in order to achieve these long-term strategic objectives and ambitions, we have set up a huge transformation plan together with our external stakeholders and our regulators, the Water Industry Commission, on how we're going to transform our business in order to deliver these objectives or move towards these objectives. So finally, some reflection on aggregation. So has it been a benefit or has it not been a benefit? So it's been a rocky road. That's definitely something that needs to be said, particularly from employees' point of view, lots of restructuring, lots of efficiencies to be made. But really, it has brought many benefits. we're now a center, we can have centers of expertise across the organization, pulling from the experiences of different areas of the country. We have this ability to compare area against area much more easily. There is the economy of scale. We can, buy things cheaper, just to make it easy, and we gain much more experience from the activities we carry out. For example, we now replace major works every year. If you're a much smaller organization, you would do that probably every 10 years or so. So we gain much more experience in terms of having more business as usual activities we can carry out, and we're much more flexible and resilient, particularly in terms of the population. We have quite a large number of employees, and we can chop and change and make sure that our services are always top-notch for our customers, as has been shown throughout the COVID pandemic. So I think I will leave it there. And if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll be happy to try and answer.